this is Mike Seidel in Westchester County, New York, just north of New York City. Sleet and freezing rain in the forecast overnight. Once again, the roads will be a shambles. I'll have a live report coming up next on Weather Center.
And I'm Jeff Morrow in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, just northwest of Philadelphia. Similar situation here with ice and sleet. We'll have a complete update next on Weather Center.
Well, a major winter storm is bringing everything from snow to sleet to freezing rain in the Northeast. Hello, welcome to Weather Center, brought to you by Oppenheimer Funds. I'm Sharon Rizalton.
And I'm Paul Emmett. Now, this storm has already made a mess in many areas, but will hang on and cause even more problems. Dave Schwartz is now following this story. This big winter storm from our forecast center. Dave, how's it going right now, Dave?
Well, it's going pretty well in that we're following this very closely, but the storm remains pretty much status quo in the Northeast. The sleet, the snow, and the freezing rain causing hellacious travel problems for us on the roads. Airports have been closed, delays, and just walking down the street has become a great challenge. Unfortunately, it's not going to change much overnight, but there is a glimmer of hope here for tomorrow. We've got live coverage from the field. Paul Kosin is also standing by, our winter weather update. Weather specialist. He's been keeping an eye on this on an hourly basis, and we appreciate that. We'll get back to you in just a minute. And I just wanted to give you an idea of what's going on here first, to look at our current surface map here in the United States. And you can see that most of the action in the U.S. is here in the eastern United States. Now, further south where it's warm, there's showers and thunder showers. But you get up here to the northeast, and that is where you are close to this big area of high pressure right over here. That's been moving slowly eastward, but the flow around high pressure is clockwise and down into the northeast. While the cold air has been moving in from that direction, moist, mild air has been overrunning it from the southwest. So we've got a battle here, warm air over cold air. That's quite often what you see when you have a snowstorm, and that's what we've got going here in parts of New England and New York State, even back into Ohio and Kentucky, some light snow. But the area shaded in orange just below that snow, that's where it's a little bit too warm for the snow to make it to the ground as snow. So it's melting and then freezing at the surface, and we've got ourselves an ice storm. That is the problem. This is what it looked like earlier today in Tarrytown, New York. Clearing snow has been a chore for many of us here in Westchester County. Snow mixed with sleet, and it continues here tonight. No doubt that the ice will build up for your morning commute in the northwest suburbs of New York City. And in Midtown Manhattan right now, it is sleeting, and the temperature is in the middle 20s in New York City. Kids are having fun, but getting around has been real rough. Well, we've got a couple of reporters out there. This storm is covering a wide area. We've got Jeff Morrow standing by live in the Philadelphia metropolitan area, and Mike Seidel is in Westchester County, New York. We go to him first for this live report.
And Dave, tonight here in Westchester County, it's mostly a sleet storm now after on and off periods of snow during the day. Several inches of snow on the ground, but this sleet now coming down at a pretty good clip is causing the roads to kind of cover back over with a sheet of ice and snow. So the travel is certainly not the best out here in suburbia. Not a whole lot of traffic here on the Tappan Zee heading back over the Hudson into Rockland County. The speed limit is down to 35 miles an hour, and that's where it's been all day, and that's certainly the best way to take it. Slow and easy, give yourself some extra distance. As you mentioned, freezing rain in the forecast later tonight, probably after midnight out here in Westchester County and Rockland counties, and out in the suburbs of New York, out in northwest New Jersey. And the freezing rain will cause problems sticking to the power lines and the trees. We could see some power outages between now and tomorrow morning. And because this is very cold, dense air, and it is still 15 degrees here, we got a long way to go to freezing, and it's going to take at least till mid, if not late, tomorrow morning before the temperature climbs above freezing here. But better news for those of you watching from the city, out on the island. Your temperature should be above freezing by sunrise, and that should make the morning commute a little bit easier, at least near the coast. But again, back in the interior, if you're traveling up the thruway towards Albany, give yourself some extra time, because there's going to be a lot of freezing rain, and it's going to take even longer in the upstate. In fact, some of those areas will not get out of the ice or snow all day tomorrow. Dave, back to you.
Thanks for that live report, Mike Seidel from Westchester County, New York. Jeff Morrow is standing by north of Philadelphia. He's in King of Prussia. What's it like there tonight, Jeff?
Well, we're still getting the sleet, Dave. Occasionally it comes down a bit harder. About 2 hours ago, we had a pretty hefty batch of sleet move through, and it accumulated about an inch or so. Let's go ahead and pan on over to the big light, one of the big light towers here over the big interchange between the PA Turnpike and the Schuylkill Expressway. And you can see the sleet coming down through the lights there, still getting blown along by a pretty brisk northeasterly wind, which is helping to keep that cold air locked in place here, which is also helping to keep all this precipitation, sleet, and ice. It's still coming down. It's not accumulating all that much now, but again, with temperatures holding right now in the low 20s at the very best, we're going to continue to have problems overnight. A lot of the roads are snow-packed, and the ground pretty much, I should say, sleet-packed, because this is all sleet. And again, if I gather some together and kind of pour it out, that's what it does. It's like sugar. It is all little ice balls here. Very difficult to drive on, to say the least. If you want to brake on that stuff, it's not as bad as maybe pure ice.
Monica Pellegrini. This